beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I want to discuss who I think has the best chance of winning Big Brother Season 20. Now, we are several weeks into this season. We have finally reached the jury stage, and I have to say, I think this season has been the best Big Brother season that we've seen in several years. I am really enjoying it so far. Lots of unexpected things have happened. Almost every week I've been shocked by how the vote turned out, and someone always seems to be getting blindsided, which I think just makes for a really entertaining Big Brother season. I want to apologize for some of the predictions I made in my Big Brother cast bio reactions. I mean, I only had these people's answers to those few questions to judge them based off of, so obviously I was going to get a couple wrong. And now I've changed my opinion on a lot of these contestants now that I've gotten to know them better and seen how they actually play the game, because a lot of people say they're going to play one way and then play differently. I said that Winston was my preseason fave, and immediately, as soon as I saw his intro package being like, I love guns and my dog, I regretted that instantly, and his gameplay was just a dumpster fire. There are two house guests that I think are doing a really good job so far. They still have made some decisions that I don't agree with, and I will talk about them at the end of this video. First, I want to run through all the other house guests, talk about their gameplay, what I think they did right, what I think they did wrong, and how I think they can better their position in the house. Now, this is in no particular order other than the fact that I saved my two favorites for last, and so the first house guest that I'm going to talk about is JC. Now, JC has put himself in a position where both sides of the house think that he is with them, which is good because I don't think either side is going to target him in the immediate future. However, the problem is that he is at the bottom of the totem pole on both sides. Neither Level 6 nor the Hive really view him as a priority in their alliance, so when we get down to the nitty-gritty, I don't think either side of the house would have a problem cutting JC. He also hasn't won anything yet, and even though I think you shouldn't win a whole lot of things in Big Brother, you still have to win something, so that if you do get the opportunity to plead your case to the jury, you can point out specific things that you have done instead of just saying that you floated your way to the end. Right now, JC is playing the floater game, and while he's going to be okay, I think, for the time being, in the long run, I don't think he has a chance of winning unless he starts making moves. The next house guest I want to talk about is Brett. Now, Brett has so far done horrible jury management. Bailey is now the first juror, and Brett's goodbye message to her was just mean. And I think Bailey seems like the kind of person who could be an emotional juror, and I think if Brett is sitting in the final two, there is absolutely no way that he is getting Bailey's vote. He needs to stop pissing people off if he wants them to vote for him in the end. Because if everybody hates him, they're not going to want to give him the $500,000. That being said, I think because people know that Brett is not very well liked, they may not target him for the time being, because I think people would think that if they bring Brett with them to the final two, they have a better chance of winning, which is probably correct. Then we have Angela, who I am just not a fan of at all. I would love it if Angela went home this week during Haley's HOH, because I just think that Angela does not have a lot of loyalty. She had this final two deal with Rachel, but then as soon as Rachel approached her with this information that she got from Bailey, Angela immediately jumped to the conclusion that Rachel was lying and had to go. Why she immediately assumed that Rachel was lying and not that Bailey lied to Rachel, I don't really understand. Doesn't seem like a strong thought process here. And the fact that she just went from being Rachel's BFF to leaving her such a mean goodbye message shows that Angela is a mean girl. I kind of got this vibe from her preseason, basically saying that other girls are intimidated by her and she doesn't like having female friends. Angela really comes off to me as a bully, and I do not like her. She also said last episode, which I think was so telling, that she would throw herself in front of a bus for Tyler, which tells me that she is not playing for herself, she's playing for Tyler. Honey, I don't think you're gonna have to jump in front of that bus for Tyler. I think sooner or later he's gonna throw you in front of it. Up next, I want to talk about Rockstar. Still think she has a dumb nickname. However, to Rockstar's credit, she has come close to winning some comps so far this season. So she can play even if she hasn't won anything yet. The problem with Rockstar is that I think sometimes she can be overtaken by her emotions. We've seen her cry several times, break down. She yelled at Brett. And I think that if Rockstar wants to succeed in this game, she has to keep her eyes on the prize. Instead of feeling sorry for herself, she needs to remember why she's here. She's here to win. She's here to win the game and get that money for her kids and bring it home to her family. If she can focus on that instead of getting emotionally overwhelmed, then I think she could possibly succeed. Up next, I want to talk about Sam. Going into this season, Sam was someone that I really had my eye on and I really wanted her to succeed. I felt so bad for her week 1 because her robot punishment was so unfair and I really wanted her to stay in the house. However, since then, she has rubbed me the wrong way. Her speech when she nominated Haley and Caitlyn was just so inappropriate and to me really came across as slut-shaming. Also, I don't think she has a great understanding of strategy, and apparently before this past live eviction, she was trying to self-evict herself because she didn't want to be in the house anymore. She really does not have great gameplay, and really I just don't think that she has a great shot at winning the game. What is interesting is that apparently, since Tyler told her on the live feeds about his power, Sam has decided that she doesn't want to align with Tyler anymore since he didn't tell her about this earlier, and she told Rockstar that she wants to get Tyler and Angela out of the house, which is an interesting development. It's a total 360 from earlier when she was crying after the hacker nominated Tyler. I think the thing about Sam is that Sam has a very strict personal moral code, and if you do anything that contradicts with her belief system, then she's just going to abandon you and doesn't want anything to do with you, as evidenced by how quickly she turned on Tyler and how she nominated Haley and Caitlyn. What will be interesting is to see if Sam is going to tell anyone about Tyler's power, but we'll talk about that more later. Now we have got to Scotty. Scotty is someone who I did really like, and I thought a couple weeks ago that he was in a great place to win. I saw on former Big Brother winner Derek Levasseur Twitter that Derek thought Scotty had the best chance to win, and considering I think that Derek is one of the greatest Big Brother players of all time, I totally trust his judgment. The problem is Scotty has now moved from being at the bottom of the totem pole in the Alliance The Hive to being in the bottom of the totem pole in the level 6 Alliance. I don't think either alliance really cares about Scotty that much, and he is expendable to both of them. This has put him in a position where I feel like, much like I said with JC, they would have no problem evicting Scotty from the game. If he can somehow get himself to the finals, then I think he could have a chance at winning. However, I feel like he will very likely get cut before that by one alliance or the other. Up next is Casey. Going into this season, I really wanted to see Casey do well, and I thought she was going to be a comp beast. However, she has won nothing. And just really not been playing impressively. I think right now she is doing a great job at being a coaster. I don't call her a floater because a floater to me is someone who floats from one alliance to the other, whereas a coaster is someone who just glides on through the season without really doing anything, and I feel like that more accurately describes Casey's game at this point. I am hoping that perhaps she was just saving all her gameplay for the second half to avoid getting blood on her hands, and she's going to suddenly pull out this great gameplay now that we've reached the jury stage. However, my expectations are not super high, and so far this season, I really can't think of anything significant that Casey has done, which is a problem because if you're in Final 2, you need to be able to tell the jury what you did that earns you the win, and I can't think of anything that Casey could tell the jury at this point. Now, I have one more house guest to discuss before I tell you guys about my 2 favorite players this season, and that last house guest is Fessy. Now, Fessy has won a couple POVs showing that he can win comps. The problem is Fessy is so clueless. Pretty much every single week he's been surprised by the vote. He says he has no idea what's going on half the time, and it really shows. I even think he's starting to get on Haley's nerves, considering she doesn't like him and Fessy cannot take a hint. I think sooner or later Haley's not going to want him around anymore since he keeps invading her personal space. That is a real problem because I think eventually his alliance will get tired of him and not want him around. As much as I really wanted to root for Faute/The Hive this season because I love a good underdog, their gameplay has not been that strong. They have been blindsided almost every single week, and even this past week when they voted with the house to evict Bailey, if they had just talked to each other and decided they wanted to keep Bailey, they would have had the votes because Sam flipped. Even when they vote right, they're still wrong. Now, you've probably figured out by now who my two favorite players are by process of elimination, and those are Tyler and Haley. I have been impressed by Tyler all season, whereas Haley only recently came onto my radar. However, both of them, I think, have made gameplay mistakes that could put them in a bad position, so I want to talk about what it is that I think makes them worthy of winning, and also the mistakes they've made that I think may hurt their gameplay. Tyler has been very good at getting people to do what he wants. Level 6 at this point are basically a whole bunch of Tyler minions. Like I said earlier, Angela said she would throw herself in front of a bus for Tyler, which is just... but we don't need to go back into that. And I think the thing about Tyler that is really impressive is that even though he has made moves against people, I don't think anyone hates Tyler. He hasn't been unnecessarily mean to anyone, and he hasn't made it personal, which is good because if you go after someone on a personal level, you're not going to get their vote from the jury. I even think at this point, Tyler did some good jury management with Bailey by complimenting her in his goodbye video. You saw Bailey seemed really flattered after she watched Tyler's video, so I think if Tyler was sitting in the final two with someone like Brett or Angela, he would get Bailey's vote. So far, Tyler's jury management has been good. I don't really want to talk about this too much because Bailey has been evicted and it doesn't matter now. However, I just have to say that at the eviction show, when I was on Twitter looking through the BB20 hashtag, I was shocked by how many people were saying that if you don't like Bailey, you're racist, and that Tyler is a villain this season, which I think is not true at all. The fact of the matter is that Bailey made several fatal errors, like telling Rachel about her power app. Also, she did scream at Tyler so much that she must have bit her tongue or something and made her mouth fill up with blood, and that was just not a smart game move at all. She was not getting the angry black woman edit. It's not that CBS is racist, it's that she yelled at him, which no one should ever talk to someone like Bailey spoke to Tyler. Tyler never went after her on a personal level, and I think that Angela and Casey had every reason to suspect that Bailey was the hacker. It was a pure strategic move. They told her that they wanted Casey to play in the veto. Bailey told Haley, but they didn't know she told Haley, and that's why Haley picked Casey. But since they didn't know that Bailey told Haley, then they had every reason to think that Bailey was the hacker. Also, Bailey had this power that she told Rachel about, and that made her a target. So if you say that Bailey didn't play a strong game, that doesn't make you racist. The fact is her behavior was not smart. And I don't think Tyler owed her an apology because he never went after her on a personal level. Also, I don't know if Bailey was lying or she just remembered the conversation wrong, but Tyler never told her to get out Angela. Either she was lying or she misremembered it. She seemed pretty strong in her conviction, so I think she did genuinely misremember it, but I can't know for sure. Point is, when I say that Bailey didn't play a strong game, it's not because she's black. It's just because she didn't play a strong game. However, I do admire the fact that Bailey did apologize to Tyler. I think that was the right thing to do. I don't think she meant to go off on him like that. I just think she was having a really rough week, and so all those emotions came out and Tyler was the one she took it out on. I'm glad that she apologized because I think that was the mature thing to do. I also want to say I definitely think CBS needs to be more diverse in its casting choices. Not only would I like to see them cast more more people from other races. I would also like it if they had more diversity in age, instead of just having a whole bunch of pretty white 20 and 30 somethings in the cast every single year, and then one token old guy. That just gets really old, and I would like the show better if they had people from different walks of life in the cast and not just a whole bunch of 20-something-year-old straight people looking for a showmance. Now, going back to Tyler, I think Tyler's gameplay has been pretty good. However, he made some big mistakes. First of all, he criticized Bailey publicly for lying about having a power app when he is lying about having a power app. I think this week Tyler's probably going to have to use the power app at some point, since Haley has targeted him in the past, and when he uses it publicly, he's going to come off looking like a hypocrite. Also, I think Tyler has won so many competitions, including some that he did not have to win, which is, in my opinion, a mistake because it paints him as a strong competitor, and he's someone that other people are going to want to go after now. I was screaming at my TV when Tyler won the veto the week that Brett and Rachel were on the block. He came out of the situation okay, but there was absolutely no reason for him to win the veto, and it would have been so easy for him to throw it. Since it was an individually timed competition, if I were Tyler, I would have just sat down and waited for me to time out. I think that would have been so much smarter, and he needs to learn that sometimes you have to throw a comp. If you want to be a good Big Brother player, you should only win the competitions that you need to win. Now, lastly, I want to talk about Haley. I have started having an eye on Haley very recently when she won the hacker competition and decided to nominate Tyler. Obviously, I don't want Tyler to go home because I like him. However, her nominating him showed that she is perceptive and intelligent, and she's not afraid to make some big moves to further her own game. Now, the mistake that Haley made was that she called that house meeting and told everyone she was the hacker. At that point, there was nothing she could do to save Bailey. It was too late, and all she was doing was making herself look bad by doing that. I understand she felt like she had a moral obligation, and I respect that. However, in a strategic standpoint, it was just not a wise move at all. Luckily, she won HOH because I think if she had it and level 6 had won, she would have for sure been their target. So guys, those are my thoughts on who I think has the best chance to win Big Brother 20. Let me know in the comments who your favorite player is this season and who you would like to see get evicted next. Please like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye! See you next time.